We moved into our dream home, but it wasn't ours alone real-life horror story. This story unfolds in a quiet suburban town where a young couple, Clara and Mark, move into their dream home only to find it conceals dark secrets. Grounded in relatable fears and set in a seemingly perfect neighborhood, the story explores psychological terror, the fragility of trust, and the horrors lurking within human minds. Each chapter adds layers to the mystery, with unexpected twists, unsettling imagery, and moments of quiet dread building toward a shocking revelation. Clara and Mark's excitement was palpable as they stood before their newly purchased home, a sprawling Victorian on a tree-lined street. The previous owners had sold it for an unbelievable price, claiming they were eager to move closer to family. Clara dismissed the odd phrasing, brushing it off as a desperate seller's tactic. As they crossed the threshold, the air inside the house felt heavy, almost oppressive, though Mark joked that it was just the old wood absorbing the rain. The first night, Clara noticed strange details, a faint scratching sound inside the walls and an antique mirror in the hallway that seemed to catch her reflection at odd angles. When Mark shrugged it off, Clara convinced herself it was just her nerves. But later that night, as she unpacked alone in the dimly lit dining room, she found a photograph tucked into the back of a drawer. It showed a family of 4 in front of the house. Clara froze when she noticed the face of the youngest child was scratched out entirely, leaving only faint grooves on the paper. From the corner of the room, she heard what sounded like a soft whisper, "Why did you come here?" Determined to shake off her unease, Clara decided to meet the neighbors. Her attempts at casual conversation were met with tight-lipped smiles and vague answers about the house's history. An elderly man watering his lawn simply said, "Stay out of the basement before retreating indoors." That evening, Mark dismissed Clara's concerns as overthinking. But Clara's gut told her something was wrong, especially when she noticed a small attic window light up briefly at midnight despite no one being up there. While cleaning the attic the next day, Clara stumbled upon a hidden compartment in the floorboards containing a child's music box. When she opened it, the tune sounded warped, almost sinister, and she was overcome by the sensation of being watched. Mark found her pale and trembling, her hands clutching the box. As night fell, the tension between the couple grew. Mark, annoyed by Clara's insistence on leaving, left to stay at a friend alone. Clara was jolted awake by the sound of footsteps overhead. When she mustered the courage to check the attic, she was met with the sight of the scratched-out child from the photo, standing in the corner, its hollow eyes fixed on her. Mark returned the next day to find Clara shaken but resolved. Together, they decided to confront the house's secrets. The basement, previously ignored, revealed a series of cryptic symbols carved into the walls. As they explored, the door slammed shut behind them, leaving them in complete darkness. Clara screamed as an unseen force dragged her toward the far corner. Mark managed to free her, but they emerged with a chilling discovery, a locked chest marked with the same symbol as the attic's music box. Inside the chest, they found a diary belonging to the family who had lived there before. The entries grew more frantic, recounting the gradual unraveling of their lives after moving in. The final entry read, "We were wrong to disturb her. She only wants her family." Clara began seeing the child everywhere, in reflections, shadows, and even her dreams. Her relationship with Mark deteriorated as the house seemed to pit them against each other. In a desperate bid to end the nightmare, Clara and Mark held a seance, hoping to communicate with whatever haunted the house. The entity revealed itself in horrifying fashion, accusing them of stealing her home. As they prepared to flee, Clara realized the truth Mark had known about the house's dark history all along. His desperation for a deal had overridden his judgment, and his guilt had made him blind to the warnings. The entity's final act was to possess Mark, forcing Clara to face the horror alone as he turned against her. What happened to Clara? Discover the untold horrors in our next video.